And Yasmine is here. And Ahmed is here. So we're only going to wait for 10 minutes, so we stick to the schedule. But everyone is here, so this is great.
Hi, Remy. I would need you to designate me as a host for 2 minutes.
Okay, just one second.
Okay.
There we go. Hi, Yasmine. How are you?
Ramy, how are you? Hi, everyone.
Good, good. We have all our panelists with us today, and we're ready to go in 7 minutes.
Remy,
Yes.
I'm done. I will designate you as a host now, okay?
All right, and I will start the Facebook Live. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Patricia.
Morning. Ramy, I was wondering, do we have the same link for Facebook Live than yesterday?
No. We have. It's going to be a different stream. Yeah.
Okay, so send it over and I will post it on Twitter later on.
Yes. Once I start. Okay, I'm about to go live, just FYI for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Ramy, can you designate me as a host?
Yes. Almotaz, it seems your virtual background is you're in black and white. If you want to address that, maybe. We can't hear you.
What are you? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. It seems that like your background is a bit buggy. It looks like it's mixing between your.
Yeah, I don't know.
I already did, Albert.
Yes, thanks.
Ramy, do you know how I can make the background at blur? Zoom.
Not really. I think you just have to click the arrow above stop video and then choose virtual background.
Yeah, I put virtual background, the Mediterranean, and it's not good.
No, you look a bit like from. It's a bit buggy. It looks like you're mixing with the background, and you're black and white.
Okay, let me see what we can do now. Video. So we go without video then, because I am today no office. How can we go like this? I don't know.
You're just gonna go without the camera?
I don't know. I will check now. Oh, camera. Like this. How it look? Ramy.
We can't see you yet.
Now you see me.
It's all black. Yeah, now we see you. Yeah, perfect. I think that's better.
You like the background?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to go.
Okay. No, this is actual, not a virtual. Anyhow.
Great. We're gonna kick off in 1 minute, just to make sure things are going well. Cool.
Albert,
Sí,
¿puedes hacer co-host a Corporate?
sí, perdona. Corporate. Uy, ¿está en la lista de panelistas?
No.
Vale, atendí. Ah, vale, perdona. Panelist.
Gracias.
Y corporate. Make co-host.
Okay, we're about to start. Everybody ready?
Yeah, good luck.
All right. Okay, welcome everyone. And I want to thank you for attending today's discussion panel, Innovative Youth-Driven Solutions for Water and Energy in the Mediterranean. Today is the second day of Ummaj Life, our biennial conference on water and energy in the Mediterranean. We have been doing this in collaboration with the Union for the Mediterranean and COS Middle East and Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. So the quest for water has been one of the most defining struggles of human history. The equation was easy. So the people and the civilizations that were able to harvest it thrived, basically around the Mediterranean, though the ones that failed diminished. Today, 7 in 10 people can count on having running water through their taps, all because of innovation and conservation and long-term strategy and planning. Though while many advances have been made, water scarcity remains the globe's single greatest challenge. And today's discussion panel is mainly going to address the challenges and opportunities in innovation, specifically around sustainability, sourcing fresh water to all individuals, and to avoid and adapt and mitigate other crises like food security, agriculture, and other global issues that are related to population growth and sustainability. So the name of the game today is collaboration, co-creation, and co-innovation. The word co is key to our sustainability and long-term growth. Before I move on to the discussion panel, I want to remind all our attendees that translation to French and Arabic is available. Just make sure that you update your Zoom software. Afterwards, at 11:30 CET, we'll be joined by a Palestinian singer called Rawan Rushni, who will be entertaining us. And afterwards, we'll be announcing the winners of the Amwaj Water and Energy Mediathon. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by panelists who are diverse and who are expert in the subject matter, and who will be giving us insights into today's subject. I want to welcome on this panel Mr. Almotaz Abadi, the Managing Director of Water Cooperation and Investment at the Union of the Mediterranean, UFM. Mr. Vangelis Constantianos, Executive Secretary and Regional Coordinator at the Global Water Partnership, GWP, for the Mediterranean. Dr. Yasmine Jabali, the Senior Lecturer at the University of Balamand in Lebanon, and an entrepreneur in bio-waste, which turned from a university project and now it's in the market. Mr. Ramy Boujawdeh, the Deputy General Manager at Berytech, and an active member of the startup ecosystem in Lebanon and beyond. Mr. Mohammed Komani, investigative journalist and data editor at the Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism, ARIJ. Lastly, I want to welcome Mr. Ahmed Abbas, who is an entrepreneur, founder and CEO at SunCity. So I want to first welcome you all. Thank you for giving us the time today. Before we kick off the Q&A session, I want every speaker to first introduce themselves for around 5-7 minutes and tell us what are some of the key elements to empower and strengthen entrepreneurship about water and energy. Why is it important to develop these steps, specifically around sustainable development? And what are the challenges that that entrepreneurs might face, and how would you address them for each from their own capacity? And I will leave the floor now to Mr. Almotaz Abadi. Maybe you want to tell us your insight? You're muted.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Rami, for the introduction. As you said, I am Almotaz Abadi, working to the Union for the Mediterranean on the water issues. I am Palestinian. I joined the Union for the Mediterranean since 2015, so almost 5 years ago. To answer your question, first of all, let us highlight why we need entrepreneurs. Why we need to focus in the Mediterranean or in the MENA region in the entrepreneurial shift on water and energy. Why? Because we need to create a good ecosystem for job creation and to enhance the economic situation of our generation. Because when it comes to the Union for the Mediterranean region, and we have the paradox, the north, where there are a lot of jobs, before the pandemic. Now with the pandemic, the situation is different. And we have the South, which is the part of the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, where there are records of unemployment. So this requires us as a people working on the regional cooperation in order to look at the more innovative approach in order to create more jobs and looking at different sectors. While we are tackling the issue related to water and nexus, water and energy, we said, okay, we have to highlight the added value of job creation of these two sectors, not only on the normal way of doing some people who's an engineer working on a water utility or a technician working on a wastewater treatment plant or on a power generation. So the issue that need to create an ecosystem, the ecosystem need to first of all to bring the opportunity from the water and energy sector and to highlight information about where those people can interact, the investors, the young people, in order to create their own jobs from the water and energy sector. So to be successful, you need to work on the both ways. The first one is to make these two sectors accessible for entrepreneurial ships. That means you need to work on the regulatory framework of the water and energy sector in order to enable these kind of jobs within those two sectors, as well as you need to work on the system, the ecosystem as such, the business ecosystem in the country or in the member state of the Union for the Mediterranean or anywhere else in the world, in order that you give incentive and to ease the process of registration of these entrepreneurship, and also to provide what we call them the support. The support here either by detax this sector to give some promotion for people in order to come start working on these two sectors. The second part is to look at those people. You need to have entrepreneurial who are trained, very well trained, and to have the know-how in order to access such sector. So in case I wanted to do something at policy level, from my point of view, I will focus on the issues related to the training and education, highlighting the added value of accessing the water and energy sector in order to create a comprehensive business plan. And this is the third point, and I will end to answer your question, is our ability as people working in the water sector in order to create a business plan out of the water and energy sector. And the business plan that can be supported by those who have the money. And when it comes now, if you want to do something in the water energy, if you don't link it with the climate change, climate adaptation, you are going nowhere. So the idea now, what we are doing, especially with Vangelis, Constantianos from GWB made as an example, is to create this bankable and investable or entrepreneurial projects from the water and energy sector, and focusing not at the big scale, at the small scale, and to close the loop that you are doing first, investing in the water or energy sector, responding to the climate change, and trying to achieve the sustainable development goal, the relevant sustainable development goals that are related to water energy 6 and 7 and maybe also 13 when it comes to the ecosystem. And with this, you will have a great element to access funding from the climate relevance initiative and equity funding system. Thank you.
Thank you, Almotaz. Maybe we can hear now from Mr. Constantianos.
Let me start by thanking REVOLVE, UFM, CWAS, the Konrad Adenauer Institute for providing this opportunity. I'm very happy to be in such a panel that is really operational. I come from the less operational world, serving as a platform this is the GWP work, providing a platform among stakeholders for bringing up a debate on sustainable water management through integrated approaches, and providing technical assistance to our major beneficiaries that are the governments around the Mediterranean, in our case as GWP Med. So I'm very happy to be with colleagues that come from from the implementation side, and I was very glad to hear Almotaz Abadi providing these key comments. Let me make a suggestion in the future, put Almotaz at the very end because he almost said it all. I will try to complement and add a few points here. First of all, on the challenge, we do know the figures, but the figures are important to be reminded. This region, especially the south, holds only a 3% of the available fresh waters, the global available fresh waters, while the population is much, much bigger, something like more than 460 million. And we see this population increasing fast. Ramy, yourself, you have mentioned the population booming, especially in the south and east of the Mediterranean. And at the same time, we have all these scary scenarios of on climate change, like the relatively recent report on the +2 degrees Celsius warming, where the figures say that this can go until the end of the century up to +15% on the water demand. Now, then there are more scary figures. I won't mention them, but just let us keep that. If we keep in mind that, and at the same time that agriculture demands something like 80, in some countries 90% of the available water, and this relates directly to energy. I'm getting now into our water and energy interlinkages, with something like 30% of the total energy demanded that goes to agriculture, then we see that there is a direct equilibrium or a balance that can turn to be from challenging to lethal if things go wrong. So here we need to be really putting in front of us all these different the co-planning, co-coordination, co-innovation, everything in order to make it happen. And it won't come alone from the water sector. And for me, this is the big first message. The water sector is a great promoter of this water, energy, food ecosystem nexus, all four together. But sometimes, even if the concept is new, we already feel a kind of alone in this journey, in the sense that other stakeholders that have been invited to join this debate, and actually all the call that you have mentioned, are only gradually coming up. And this is a point, an area that we have to focus more and accelerate. So more effort is needed from the water sector, inviting the other sectors to join, but also from the hierarchy, let's say, within the countries, in the region, so coming from higher up, inviting all the others to come in order to make something substantial. Now, on the market side, we have a lot of experience on market-based approaches that have come from the energy sector, first of all, from the transport, from the telecommunications. So it is not something new. It exists. And the practices are available, and the good lessons are available. However, water is different. It's not the same. Water is a public good. The risks associated to water business are greater. We do know that. We have to work more on this de-risking. Any kind of investments that will focus to private engagement, including entrepreneurship. And I think Almotaz mentioned that very nicely, provided all the elements. So how we can do that? I will simply repeat Almotaz by accelerating, by bringing the stakeholders together, by by providing all the opportunities to make things happen, including investment, definitely. And of course, there we have to provide all the elements that can assist this investment to be substantial. Like if we're talking about loans, we need long maturity, we need low investment rates in order for the entrepreneurs to engage properly. I'm pretty sure that our colleagues in the panel will take this up. If I have one last point, I would say that what we still miss is leadership. Leadership coming from institutions that can be the enablers of all this code that you have mentioned, Ramy, in the beginning, of bringing this together and make them happen. Here, the role at the regional level of the Union for the Mediterranean is of top importance. And the UFM water agenda provides for these elements, looking forward, bringing up all the new concepts. It is important, I believe, that back in 2017, the Ministers of Water agreed on 4 thematic priorities. The more conventional, let me say, wash and climate, and the less conventional nexus and water employment migration, giving their mark on how they foresee the challenge coming up. So there is a great opportunity through the UFM water agenda at the regional level. It has to be translated more at the national level. COVID provides yet another challenge, hopefully an opportunity at the same time. And organizations like GWP are ready to engage according to their mandates and capacities in making this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Constantianos. Perhaps we could hear from Dr. Jabali from an academic standpoint.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here with you today and to discuss one of the most important and challenging topics. Well, as you said, Ramy, I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Balamand. I work mainly in the environmental field on environmental topics such as wastewater treatment and analysis, waste treatment and energy recovery, as well as development, optimization, and validation of different methodologies for the testing of micropollutants and organic pollutants in water. Well, I'm also the founder of BioWaste, which offers a green, effective approach to benefit from food waste and convert it into a source of green energy. Well, why do we need innovations? Because the environment in the Mediterranean formed the basis of the development in the region. And it's crucial to put an end for an environmental degradation that has already given rise to high social and economic costs. What few people know, and even if they know it, they ignore it, is that we have increasing pressures such as climate change, urbanization, population growth, and evolving energy needs that are really putting unprecedented pressures on our natural resources. So today, more than ever, we are, and specifically mainly in the Mediterranean region, we are in urgent need to change unsustainable consumption and production patterns. We are in need to protect and manage natural resources sustainably for economic and social development because we really need it. And also to safeguard health and integrate the objectives of sustainable development goals for more effectively to be implemented into the process of globalization. That's where comes the urgent need for innovations, and specifically in the field of water and energy. Yes, we have needs and we have plenty of opportunities. We have innovators and we have entrepreneurs, but what they really need to succeed is an enabling environment. They need baseline data, they need quantitative and qualitative data, they need inspiration, mentorship, guidance, tools for success, and most of all, an accessible market, and most importantly, an investment. And this also could be enhanced and could be done better by the collaboration and cooperation between all the stakeholders, which can provide accessibility to marketing potentials, technical and financial resources. At the end, I would like to say only one word. Today, we should all be working for sustainability, for involving sustainability in our behavior and day-to-day life events, and link it to sustainable knowledge, equipment, and energy use. Thank you very much. Ramy, we can't.
Oh, yes. Can we, sorry, can we hear from Mr. Ramy Boujawdeh now, please?
Rami, thank you. Thank you for Amouage, for UFM, for CWAS, for hosting this panel. It's super exciting to be here and talk about a topic that's very dear to me. At Berytech, we work a lot with entrepreneurs, and we're very proud to have Yasmine and her team on board with one of our star startups on the program. So basically, Berytech works a lot in innovation and entrepreneurship, and we are tackling the space of agriculture and clean tech, focusing on water, waste, and renewable energy. And this panel talks about all of them. And your questions were mainly related to what's needed to get this entrepreneurship ecosystem to thrive. And I think Vangelis and Almotaz have talked a lot about some of the enabling environment at the high level. When we talk about water entrepreneurship, water is a commodity that is public, and usually the people who work in this space are governments. And in our space, governments are not necessarily functional. And it's tough to get them to be, open on the innovation side and look at disruptive business models, to tap into this and change. So that's a difficult area. Now, there are a lot of opportunities to focus mainly on, valorizing water and optimizing wastewater in our regions. And I think there's so much to be done in that space, and there's so much water optimization that could be done at multiple levels. When it comes to energy, I think compared to some other developing countries, energy is somehow, non-renewable energy is somehow available, but the renewable energy and sustainability and optimization of resources is super needed. When you look at solar energy in all the agriculture value chain, in enabling rural communities to have access to energy, in all the poor energy connections, when you talk about Lebanon, for example, and all the alternative solution of decentralized energy, all those are opportunities for our youth to tap into. Now, some of the areas that are not necessary.
We can't hear you, Ramy. You're cutting off. Ramy, your microphone died.
Sorry,
yeah,
are you able to hear me back? Okay. So why is it important to keep the Mediterranean region, sustainable? Because we have population growth, because we have all of this, and we need jobs as well. We need for all these young people who graduate, for those people that are looking for jobs, to look at sustainable solutions, energy efficiency, water optimization, and so on as a valuable job opportunity, a job market that will not only help them find their own jobs, but create jobs for others in a very sustainable way. The different roles that different stakeholders can play to enhance such cooperation and collaboration. I think we have people that are working on the macro level, which is governments, agencies like UFM and donor agencies and so on, that need to be able to create the enabling environment. And this comes with creating the right environment for startups to thrive. The right laws, the right incentives, the right funding mechanisms, looking at options in terms of frugal innovation or social innovation as opportunities, looking at engineering, digitization, and science as an option, and then pushing that down to our academic and research centers in the Mediterranean. A lot of the South and East Mediterranean universities do not really valorize IP the way it should be, and this could really untap a lot of potential in our region to look at solutions that are developed from within the region, for the region, and by the region. So I think these are very important points to look at the level of academia and industry collaboration, at the government level in terms of policies, and at the level of entrepreneurship and support. I think we need to create, more venture capital funds or impact funds that are looking into this as a viable option to invest in. Many people are afraid of these sectors. They don't necessarily invest in those sectors. They see, they see risk, so they don't. And when it comes to the accelerators and incubators, we're seeing a new wave coming into that space. So it's still nascent, but I believe that we're getting there in the region. We're seeing more and more interest by the entrepreneurship support organization to look at these sectors of energy, water, agriculture, and the nexus of them as an important area to tap into and push entrepreneurs to start, scale, and grow in that space.
Thank you, Ramy. I think you kind of summed it up in a very nice way in terms of how we should, amplify our efforts and harmonize the policies. And now we can hear from Mr. Mohammed Komani. If you can unmute yourself.
Hi all. Thanks, Ramy and REVOLVE and Amwaj. I'm really very happy to be with you today in this important event. As an investigative journalist, I will try today to talk from media perspective in this discussion to help each other to know more about how we can contributing, focusing, and linking the role of the media and investigative journalism to empower and support the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and how we can get the benefit from the power of media and planning and building the projects. The speakers spoke wonderful words about their problems, thoughts, challenges, and about the case that strengthened the entrepreneurship ecosystem. But no one mentioned the role of the media. And here we must differentiate between the media in the past and media today, right now, in methodology and the way and the new techniques that we have data journalism, we have open source platforms, and we are working in many different ways in water and environment. And the investigative journalism has a big impact in this field. We still use media as just a purpose of promoting and just for reaching specific audience. Media methods have changed and become a key of creating ideas and a brilliant initiative. If we ask ourselves if the water entrepreneurship project is important to sustainable development, yes, it is important. And I think, and all of us, we know the next war will be for the water. What is happening now in many countries is mainly to control of the water and what's under water. Let me say that the journalism can help and force donors and stakeholders to support ideas and projects that will not in their plans, and the media and investigative journalism especially can help also to change laws that or problems that maybe stop projects or make problems for inventor or investors. I think whoever wants to succeed must put the media as one of the reasons, and to make his or her project exist for a long time, and they should know how they can use it in the right way to increase the chance of success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Komani. And lastly, we want to hear from Ahmed Abbas, our entrepreneur, in-house entrepreneur.
Thank you, Ramy. Thank you for all the panelists. This is a very interesting panel. We see people from different players in the ecosystem. As an entrepreneur, I started this journey after getting into the sustainable development field, doing my master's degree. I found out that there are a lot of problems in our country, Egypt, and these problems need innovation. Innovation to employ new technologies like renewable energy technologies, water access solutions, and these innovations to help people and fix the problems they are facing. It's very challenging when you deal with a problem that is related to water, which is the source of life. that is very important for everyone, especially in an area like the Mediterranean, where climate change is intense, and we see this in the water shortage. In Egypt, for example, we are right now under the line in terms of water availability in Egypt. So we have this challenging situations, and it's innovation and entrepreneurship that can tackle this. Why innovation and entrepreneurship? Because entrepreneurs are deeply rooted in the community. They understand the problems, they understand the context and the challenges on the ground. And also they are some sort of tech savvy. They can address these kind of issues and challenges with innovation, with technology. But as you all mentioned, it's an ecosystem. It's the environment that helps and supports those entrepreneurs develop and commercialize their solutions. So we're speaking about media. Media is very important dimension, especially in the southern Mediterranean region, where people are more into the kind of stable jobs, traditional public jobs, and families are not really supportive to the change in this culture. We need to support those entrepreneurs. We need to show that they exist, they are doing a good job, and we need to change this culture. Other dimensions, like the one we faced in Egypt, we're developing solar pumping solutions for small farmers. In Egypt, it was extremely hard with the transition and phasing energy subsidies for small farmers. We are speaking about farmers at the base of the pyramid who are providing food, a very important commodity